We are live. What's going on? How's everybody doing? What's up, Classy? What's up, Craze? Thank you. Thank you guys, man. I appreciate it. Yeah, I woke up and I was like, we're so close to 4K, man. I'm like, I hope we hit it before the new year. So that was kind of my goal a couple weeks ago. Is I was like, all right, realistically, I feel like I can get to 4K, maybe. And I was like, I really wanted that 4K, man. So I'm happy we hit it before the new year, man. So good stuff. So, like I said, I appreciate it. But yeah, there's a lot going on right now, man. People are like freaking out because because every time Poetan posts something on social media, man, people I don't know, people freak out now. So I feel like he's messing with people at this point. But what's up, RCN? How you doing, man? Um, I'm doing good, man. How have you been? Doing good, man. Yeah, I've been going live a little bit here and there, but trying to focus more of my effort on content, producing content. So, but I appreciate it, man. Yeah, we got coming up, we got, UFC 311 in a couple weeks. We got a glorious fight night to start the year with Mackenzie Dern. Yay. So, I'll have some breakdowns coming out soon for main and co-main event of UFC 311. I'll have some breakdowns probably out this week, probably. I'm thinking so. Almost the new year, man. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm excited, dude. I'm excited for to see what's ahead, man. What's up, Harry? I appreciate it, man. Yuri versus Hill is so interesting. Yeah, it's an interesting fight, man. It is an interesting fight. And yeah, Dern by cake. Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, I just think it's kind of weird to like start the year off. I guess it's to get everybody back in the groove first. Maybe we'll go with that before they throw a pay-per-view at us. But yeah, I mean, Yuri versus Hill is interesting because I think Yuri is better, but his defense is lacking. And I feel like he's I don't know, I feel like he could get caught by anybody. You know what I mean? Where do you think I'm from? I'll let you guess, man. Is that like the devil emoji? What the hell, man? The first card of the year being Dern versus Hebos's nasty work. It is, man. It is. At least 311 is stacked. 312 looks bad now. They need to add more fights. Yeah, and hopefully they will. Hopefully they will over the next couple weeks because, or not even the next couple weeks. It's not even that much. What's it, like a month out, right? Isn't it like early February? So about a month. So and normally I feel like the Australia cards are never that stacked. You know what I mean? They're normally like main event heavy. They'll have another fight or two, and then that's kind of it, it seems. I don't know. And then they have like some of the young, up and coming guys, but I live in the US. I live in the US. But yeah, I think 311 and 312. I think 311's loaded. I think 311 will be one of the better cards of the year. I know it's early, right? It's the first pay per view of the year, but I think it's hard to beat a card like that, man. Stylistically, the main event and co main event are great fights because all around, I think that Arman is maybe Islam's toughest test at lightweight. And I think that Islam is obviously Arman's toughest test. And I think Merab and Umar. I was trying to think of something because I was reading someone's comment, so I lost my train of thought. But yeah, Merab and Umar, I think, are each other's probably toughest tests. I mean, because Merab's a hard fight for anybody. What's up, Uncle Fester? Pereira and Hamzat will be in Australia. Coincidence? That'd be crazy, man. That'd be crazy if they announced that. I don't know. That'd be wild. But I feel like Pereira doesn't he usually go to Australia a lot? He goes to Australia. He does meet and greets. He does seminars. He does all sorts of shit out there. So I could see, yeah, maybe potentially. But I know Hamzat was already scheduled to do a meet and greet there. So, but again, Pereira usually goes out that way. So You thought I was from Australia? Do I sound like I'm from I don't think I sound like I'm from Australia. Islam will make Armin look like an amateur. He's the king. Yeah, I mean, I think we'll see a healthy Islam. I think he's going to come in and show levels. I just think he's a better striker. He's faster. Maybe not as explosive, but he's more technical and he's sharper. And I think that's key. He's sharper. And he's just there's really no holes with Islam and he's getting better. That's the thing. Since the first fight, and everyone, I shouldn't say everyone, a lot of people act like that fight was so close between Armin and Islam the first time around. It wasn't that close. Yeah, it was like a little bit of resistance for Islam, but he still convincingly won the fight. No, I'm not going to the UFC, man. What are you talking about? Yeah, man, I'm just saying it how I think it is, man. And that's the fact that Islam is more technical, he's sharper. What's Armin going to outgrapple him? No, probably not. Is he going to submit him? No. So his really only option is to knock Islam out. He's got power, but he's not that technical, and I think he's dangerous and close. That's where I think Armin's a problem, right? If you watch I just watched the Armin versus Dariush fight back the other day, and it was remember he threw that knee up the middle and stepped through and stomped forward and just threw that nasty right hand, and that's what hurt him. I mean, some like unpredictable shots in close I could see being a problem, and he's got some good kicks and stuff, but I don't think it's enough, man. It's not enough to beat Islam. What's up, Hank? Once Islam activates his back abs, it's over. Yeah, yeah. I've seen those pictures, man. Yeah, he's yeah. When do I think Big Hank versus Alex happens? Probably, I don't know, like May, maybe June, something like that. Armin would be lucky to win a round. Yeah, I mean, I think he's going to struggle. I think Islam is just better everywhere. I think he's more technical, and I think he's going to land the cleaner shots, and he's just sharper. There's a lot. Armin likes to move forward. He likes to be kind of aggressive and throw things, but he's going to give Islam counter opportunities. Armin's ground and pound is terrifying. I think it's going to be a close fight. Yeah, I mean, what's up, Richard, by the way? I mean, I think it's going to be an interesting fight. I don't think it's going to be a landslide either way. I think it's going to be close all around. So it'll just be a matter of, I think Islam I think he's just going to show some levels, man. I think he's a more complete fighter. Well, I mean, Armin's pretty complete. I shouldn't say a more complete fighter. I should just better. You know what I mean? He's just better, sharper. But Dariush came off a KO from Olives. Instead of taking off for a while, he fought Armin after a couple months. That's true. Yeah, he came off a KO and then came back. And we saw how that affects guys, right? They get KO'd, come back, doesn't always look too great. So street fights or school fight, I don't know, man. I don't keep count. But I don't know, man. And I think for 312, Sean Strickland versus DDP is going to be very similar to the first time, only I think we see a finish this time. I don't know what Strickland could do differently other than be more aggressive, anticipate the takedowns, open up more in the striking. But I feel like DDP just has a beat mentally and then has him beat skill wise in terms of like Sean's a skilled fighter. There's no question. He just doesn't use a lot of his skill in the octagon. He uses a jab and a teep and an occasional right hand. And that's all he uses. And he's good at getting back to his feet. He's got good. He's gets taken down, but has a good ability to get back to his feet, which is impressive. Armin will be champ definitely after Islam retires. Yeah, if he's still at 155 or whatever. Yeah, because he seems like he's a big dude, Armin. And maybe Islam will move up to 170 at some point. Du Plessis by brutal knockout. I mean, maybe brutal, but I think it'll be like I think there's going to be a stoppage for sure. When are you going to see me fight in the UFC? Probably never, man. Armin made Joel Alvarez his bitch, and that's not easy to do. Yeah, Joel Alvarez is skilled, man. Joel Alvarez is dangerous. He reminds me of like a Charles Oliveira kind of. I don't think he's as good, but he's dangerous. He's got good power. He's tall. He's rangy. He's aggressive. He's got zero head movement, which is his problem. He's going to get rocked eventually on the feet. Who do I got, Bilal or Shavkat? I'm going with Bilal. Yeah, I think Bilal beats Shavkat. What's up, Rocco, by the way? I agree with you. Yeah, I think Bilal beats Shavkat. Ankalaev versus Pereira, 312 to be announced. That would be amazing. That'd be amazing. Unless listen, people like react before they think. The only way Pereira would get added to that card is if he's the main event. He's not going to be a co-main event under du Plessis versus Strickland. And I don't know that they're going to utilize another title fight on that card like that, unless they're that desperate to sell tickets for the Australia event. I don't know, you know? So maybe because that's before Ramadan, isn't it? Maybe they do that. I don't think so, though. I don't think so. That would be great, dude. That would make me go nuts, man. Adding Ankalaev versus Pereira as the main event, and then having du Plessis versus Strickland as the co-main. That'd be crazy, dude. Craziness. But I struggle to see that because the UFC usually never takes two higher weight classes and puts them on the same card, unless it's MSG or it's some giant event. You know what I mean? Like when they had John Jones, it was supposed to be John versus Stipe the first time, and then they had Pereira versus Yuri, and then they elevated Yuri and Pereira, and then had Aspinall versus Pavlovich. So they could do that, but I don't know. Do I think he's going to corner Sean? He could, but normally he just shows up to the Strickland fights. He's been doing that for a while. Ever since he basically beat him, they became like friends, I guess, and they like train together from time to time, and they show up at each other's fights. At least Pereira shows up at Strickland's fights all over the place, up in Canada, wherever. He's been at most of them. So that's why I'm like, people are reading into it too much. The only way, because people are acting, what people I think were thinking is, oh, well, they're just going to book him versus somebody else. It's not going to be Ankalaev, and they're going to throw him on the 312 card. If they're throwing him on the 312 card, it's going to be Ankalaev. Or some crazy ass fight that we don't see coming or something. It's not going to be against like Alberg or Yambla. The UFC cannot get away with that. And if they do that, it's going to be a problem. After giving Roundtree a title shot and it being in February before, because Ramadan's basically like, end of the month, early March, like there's no way that you could give Alberg or Jan a title shot over Magomed Ankalaev, considering that it's before that time period. There's just no way they could get away with that. I mean, they could do it, but that would send everybody up into arms, man. What's up, Zarin? How you doing? Happy New Year. Happy New Year. Who do I pick between John and Tom? Early on, I think Tom knocks him out. If Tom can't get him out of there early, John finds a way to just use his fight IQ and beat him. And just, I don't know. Yeah. The longer it plays out, it favors John. Early on, Aspinall. Yeah, Ramadan is after 3. Yeah, 312 is early, and 312 is like earlier February. It's like, I don't know the date. Let me see the date for it. Let me see. Let me get you the exact date real quick. Let's see. February 8th. That's well before Ramadan, for sure. So that's possible. They could do that if they're like, okay, we got to get this. We want to get this Ankalaev fight done. We don't want to wait. Pereira wants to be active. Maybe, man. Maybe that'd be crazy. Seeing how stacked 311 is, I think that's what they're going to do. It could be. It could be. Pereira knows Ankalaev is the real king. He doesn't want to smoke. Well, he knows it's his hardest matchup. He knows that for sure. He knows that. Do you think they're going to push Hamzat versus DDP to Abu Dhabi October or earlier? Hopefully Hamzat fights earlier than that. I mean, that'd be crazy to have him wait until October. Basically, Isn't that a year? Yeah, but have him sit out a year after he went in there and beat somebody in the first round. Like, I'd like to see him fight twice this year, Hamzat. I'd like to see him fight twice this year. Well, I don't know that that's going to be. I don't know how realistic that is, because if Hamzat's next fight's probably going to be for the belt, and if he wins the belt, I don't think he's going to fight again this year. So they might slow play that. So Umar definitely threw all of the Merab's plans for his title reign out the window. Yeah, if you guys didn't see my recent video on that, I break it down because in that interview, it was very telling. Merab basically gave away what his game plan was, which was to get a couple cheap shot title defenses and then have to fight Umar, which we all kind of knew anyway. Prediction for John Jones versus Aspinall. I think early on, Tom Aspinall can absolutely KO John because he's fast, he's big, he's strong. But the longer the fight plays out, I think John can beat him. The longer it goes. Early on, John's going to have to be careful because Aspinall could absolutely knock him out 150%. I know John's durable and this and that, but John will be smart, though. That's the thing. But I feel like Aspinall can beat him, though. I feel like he can beat him. Thanks for the $1, man. I appreciate that, Harry. Thank you for the $1 super, man. I appreciate that. Happy New Year to you. If Ankalaev beats Pereira, people are going to say Pereira was washed and too old. Yeah, you're right. They may try to go with that excuse, but we know that's not it, man. We know that's not true. Pereira's in like his prime right now. Well, not his. He's in like his MMA prime, you know. Ankalaev will fight in Ramadan this time because he won't reject the title shot again. He did reject the title shot offer in UFC 300, which was during Ramadan. And also, that was probably a later notice. That's because, remember, they were scrambling to put 300 together. So, yeah, and Ankalaev, I think it was, his manager, was it? In his manager, Ali, he was on there being like, hey, here, we'll fight in March. And I'm like, damn, dude, because I just during Ramadan, like, to me, that's like a no-fly zone. That's a no-go zone. You know what I mean? That's like a no-fly zone in terms of don't touch that time. That's a time where it's like that's religious focus. You know what I mean? Like, you shouldn't be forcing guys to be like, you need to lock in and fight. It's like, dude, like that's not the time, in my opinion. Thanks for the $2, man. I appreciate that. Yeah, thank you, man. I appreciate it. Do I think Pereira will return to against in February? Got my doubts. If it's Hamzat, though, I don't think he's going to fight Hamzat. If you're not fighting Ankalaev, why would you fight Hamzat? You know what I mean? So Ankalaev is way more dangerous striker than Chimaev. Ankalaev, there's no question. But in terms of the grappling, Ankalaev has wrestling, but he doesn't have the same threat as Hamzat with the grappling, So different styles of fighters, but I would say if you made me fight one of them, I would be like, give me Ankalaev, man. Don't give me Chimaev. I don't want to fight that guy. You know what I mean? Like that, and he's faster. He's lighter. He's faster. Ankalaev still, I think, Poaton's hardest fight. But I'm saying if I was Pereira and they made me choose, I'm not picking him. I'd pick Ankalaev, dude. Do I think or call you crazy on the feet, but Ankalaev will beat Alex on the feet? I think he can KO him. Yeah, he's got fast hands, and Alex struggles with southpaw. Guys that have good southpaw boxing. Your argument for Merab is that he has beaten better strikers than Umar and Suga and mopped the floor with Henry, and I don't see any way for Umar. Umar's a way better grappler than they are. Umar, in my opinion, might be the second best striker in the division behind O'Malley. I think O'Malley's clearly the best striker in the division. It's not even close, in my opinion. And, Umar's got very good striking, and he's got probably the best grappling. He does have the best grappling. He does all around best grappling. The difference is Merab does have good wrestling, but he doesn't have a finishing threat per se, and he just has the cardio. That's the thing. But if you can take away the takedowns and keep it on the feet, Umar will tune him up like a new guitar, man. So that's where I'm coming from with that. But thank you for the super chats, Harry. I appreciate that, man. What's up, Couch Warrior? Does Zachary Reese smash Cedricus Dumas? He might, but I think it was Zach. What did his last fight for Zachary Reese where he got like tired as hell? And he kind of was, yeah, I think that was his last fight. He was getting tired, and that kind of concerned me. Thank you, Classy, for being a member of the channel, man. I appreciate your support, man. You're always interacting and reaching out, man. I appreciate it. Appreciate my takes. So I have a favorite boxer, like MMA boxer. It would be Topuria. So that's who it's been for a while. I've been on that one. But in terms of actual boxing, like current boxers, I like Gervonta Davis. I like Artur Beterbiev. I like Beterbiev a lot. I like Dmitry Bivol's. Bivol's cool. Like of all time, I mean, how can you not like Mike Tyson? You know what I mean? Muhammad Ali. Like, I feel like I'm listing all like the big names, but no, in all seriousness, I probably Tank Davis. He's not my favorite. Like, he's kind of shady outside of the ring. You know what I mean? Like he, gets himself in trouble and stuff. But in terms of like straight boxing, dude, he's a monster. And no, wait a minute. I like Ryan Garcia. Ryan Garcia is good too. He's good too. I don't really have a favorite boxer, man. To be honest, I'm just being honest. I don't really have a favorite boxer of all time. Probably like skill wise, I like Ali. I like Tyson. Today's day and age, I like Tank a lot. I like Ryan Garcia. I think he's good. Ryan Garcia is a little bit of a wild man. He says some wild shit, which I think is just to rile everybody up. And he was going through that awkward phase where he said a lot of wild shit. So I kind of took a little bit of a step back with Garcia. But in terms of skill, like I'm not talking about the personalities of the people. Skill wise, I like Tank Davis. I like Tank Davis. Yeah, but I saw Uncle IFL fight him whenever. I did see that. How do I think Arman can beat Islam? I'll have a breakdown coming out soon on that. Because I think that there is a route to victory. So I'll lay it out in my breakdown coming out soon. Hamzat fought against Burns during Ramadan. He said he would never do it. Yeah, because dude, people don't understand. People just hear Ramadan and they're like, oh, Ramadan. It's like, one, it's a religious time, but two, you're during that fasting, I don't care. You're fasting. And whenever you're fasting for an extended period of time, and then then you do eat, you're not going to feel the same, man. Like it's just not, it's not the same. You want to, that's a religious time, leave it to that. And then come back, once that's done, then look to get back into, fighting and this, that. Like you can still, like, I'm pretty sure guys, like people still train, like you can still, do in terms of like competition, like you're how are you going to be at your best when you're fasting all the time? It's like it basically for people that like, don't know what it's like an extended weight cut to a degree, you know what I mean? And then you're like only eating during a certain window. And it's like, you're not going to feel that great. You're not. And Bilal fought during it. Hamza fought during it. And you just don't see guys perform very well. Like imagine you're fasting for an extended period of time and then you get to eat for a short window and then you go in there and you're competing against somebody who hasn't been doing that. You know what I mean? So that's just, and it's not the time. It's a religious time, I've always said that. I've always felt that way. So Merab is counting his days. Yeah. Yeah. You're basically like fasting all day, so. And there's just no way, like I've said that, there's just no way. And people are like, oh, well, Bilal, this, that, and Hamza, this, that, and those fights. I'm like, listen, don't get me wrong. Like Gilbert Burns fought a good fight and whatever, but it's like, you're going to be fatigued, man. Like you're going to be fatigued. You're not going to recover the same. Your body's going to be off. Like there's no, yet, like Tank is very good. Yeah. I like Tank as well. Yeah. James Toney, man. James Toney's awesome. Merab's only real threat to Umar is his relentless cardio, but Umar has both dangerous stand-up and ground game. 100%. 100%. That's the thing. Where does Merab beat him other than cardio? He's not better at any particular skill. Where Merab has the cardio and the wrestling usually, he doesn't have that in this. Wouldn't surprise me if he takes Umar down, but he's not going to hold him down. My favorite boxer is Logan Paul. It definitely isn't, man. Definitely isn't. Am I betting some money on 311? Probably, yes. You have to be man first. You have to be the man first. You're a piece of shit, okay? You have to be the man first. That's my Merab. You know what? I might make that the slogan of the channel. You have to be man first. You have to be the man first. You're a piece of shit, okay? They give you a gift. You have to be man first. Of course, Islam. And then when Islam told him to basically pipe down, Merab was like, what did he say? What did he say? He's like, of course, Islam, of course. And then what did Umar say to him? Merab, tell me what I say. All I say, you avoid this fight. UFC makes this fight, okay? I accept. You have to be man first. You're a piece of you sneaky guy. Dude, I lost my shit when Merab was like fumbling over his words and he was like, you sneaky guy. I pissed my pants. I thought that was so funny, dude. You know what though? Like I like to rag on Merab. That was hilarious, dude. That was one of my favorite press conferences, honestly, because Merab was really funny, man. Merab was very funny in that. I got to be honest. Jacuzzi. Yeah, he like looked over to his team, I think, because his like team was sitting like front row, and they were probably like, "Hey, Merab, jacuzzi, jacuzzi," because you know Merab's an idiot. That dude, for people that don't know why I say Merab's an idiot, dove face first. Imagine you see a fucking lake out there with ice on it. You knock on it, and you're like, "There ain't no way anything's going through." He dove basically head first into it. If you guys see that video, like he's an idiot, right? So that's why Sean O'Malley's like, he's not very intelligent, but he's like, oh yeah, how about jacuzzi? And that was kind of funny, except Umar wasn't in the picture. And then didn't someone say that he was the one taking the picture? I'm like, that's funny. But yeah. Yeah, man, I've been working on my impressions, man. I've been working on it. I feel like Jan Blachowicz is a decent one because he's fighting Carlos Ulberg coming up, right? And Jan Blachowicz is funny because he has the broken English also. I have to test my stand-up, my striking, legendary Polish power, he's a good striker, I like Jan Blachowicz. He's funny. I feel like he'd be a lot of fun to hang out with. I like Blachowicz, man. Plessis versus Khamzat Chimaev prediction. Khamzat Chimaev by submission. Or actually, I feel like against Drickus, he's gonna rely more on the striking. I think he'll still grapple, but he'll land a right hand or something. Like when he did against Mearshart, he'll level change because DDP is gonna be more aggressive. He's gonna try to like not allow Khamzat to just bully him around. And then I think he's gonna catch him with a shot. So I don't know. By finish, I'll say that by finish within 2 rounds. I don't know if he could beat him in the first, but within 2. You bet Merab will complain to judges, referee, Dana, and it has to be man first. Yeah. Yeah, the Merab he'll lose and be like, that judge has to be man first. He's woman, okay? You have judges woman. Get her out of here, okay? I'm from the US, man. I appreciate it. I'm working on the impressions, man. Drickus du Plessis. Oh yeah, that's what. Yeah, no, I got Chimaev within 2 rounds by finish. Merab was funny while not even trying to be funny. Listen. I rag on Merab. I actually thought it was funny. You have to be man first, What's up, 138? I appreciate it, man. I was trying to get there before the end of the year, so I appreciate it. Merab was himself in a jacuzzi and he did some zesty video in bed with a man. Dude, his skits are so stupid. And that's what pisses me off is people rag on Colby. They rag on, they ragged on Chael. They rag on Strickland. They rag on these other people. I rag on them too. But you also have to have the same energy for Merab because Colby does some dumbass skits where he sits there and he does that little dumbass fucking teeth smile where he's like, greetings, nerds and virgins. And he sits there like that. He's like, America's champ is back, pick of the week or whatever. He does those stupid ass videos. They're dumb. But Merab does some dumbass videos too. So people that criticize Colby also got to criticize Merab too because he does some of the dumbest videos I've ever seen. The one with the belt, it was like kind of funny, but it was like fucking stupid. You know which one I'm talking about where that woman was like, oh my God, it's so big. And then she like drops down and they show it. It's his belt. And he's like, Merab's like just I don't know, man. He's just a weird guy. Yeah, jacuzzi. Jacuzzi, okay? Merab. Khamzat trained with Topuria and said he is a beast. Both of those dudes are beasts, man. Yeah, I saw that they trained together, which is definitely cool. Do I think the UFC will re-sign Muhammad Makhachev? Yes, I think so. I think so. Did I see that Azamat got suspended? I did. I didn't read the full thing on that though. I didn't see all the details on that yet. You heard that Ali Abdulaziz is going to buy McGregor's house in Ireland. I saw him tweet something about that or post something about that. Yeah, because didn't McGregor say he was going to buy Habib's house or something? So Ali just clap it back, I guess. Imagine if Merab made it through the ice, then couldn't find the hole and just never came back up. That's fucked up, man. But Merab, listen, you dive under some ice, man, you know, and you can't find the thing to get back up. That's a problem. You'll freeze, that's for sure. Makhachev would beat Pantoja for sure. Don't get me wrong. Pantoja's a beast. I feel like Pantoja, the only guy that could probably beat him right now is Makhachev. Kara France, maybe because he's got power and striking, decent takedown defense, but I think Makhachev is the guy that actually has the skill set to be able to do it. Islam handles everyone at welterweight easily, including Bilal. Bilal said it in an interview. That's how I feel. I feel like it's a matter of time before Islam goes up. It's just going to be a matter of, I don't think they're going to want to fight Bilal. Like Habib was already kind of weird about it. So I don't think they'll do that fight. So it'll take Bilal losing the belt, Bilal moving up, Bilal retiring, I think, before we see Islam move up. Unless Islam like vacates the title to go up, but I don't think he would do that. Do I think the UFC will re-sign Makhachev? Yes. Isn't it crazy that Zalal gave Topuria his toughest fight? I know, man. That's what I've been saying about Yusuf Zalal. I picked him in his last fight by finish, I think, because I was like, I definitely picked him to win because I was like, dude, Yusuf Zalal is a beast, man. He's a beast. Merab jumped into a frozen lake. What do I expect? That's what I was just saying, man. Yeah. Head first. Merab said that Ilya dropped him 3 times in sparring and manhandles him. I mean, that doesn't surprise me. Ilya Topuria is a beast, dude. There's no question. He's a beast. What chances are Merab pulls out from this fight for some reason? I don't think so. I don't think he'll pull out. But if he did, that'd be messed up. The UFC is upset with Makhachev because he said publicly that the UFC told him not to wrestle because it's boring. Yeah, I mean, that seems what the root of the issue is to me as well. So, and the striking's gotten a lot better, Makhachev. So, Bilal is very modest. I think he will give Islam a hard time at 170. Could be. Strickland versus DDP. How can Sean win? He's got to be on the front foot more than he was on last time, and he's going to have to throw more than a jab and a teep. He's got to let the right hand go, let his combinations fly. I know he doesn't really throw in combinations, but he needs to get DDP going backwards, which good luck. He's got to attack the body with those teeps. He's got to be on the pressure more, and just be solid defensively, because with that Philly shell, it's great when you're just boxing, but when there's kicks involved, and that left hook you saw is a weapon. But DDP was having success with the high kicks. I think he might try to implement a high kick because he shot Strickland over parries at times with that backhand. The wrestling between Merab and Umar will be competitive. That's what I'm saying. I'm excited for it. I agree with you. Islam is a better striker than Bilal. The wrestling would cancel out. I think that Bilal, he's stronger than Islam. His gas tank is probably better. The guy that showed up at 304 is a problem. But I think the striking of Islam is more accurate, more crisp, and more dangerous. But Bilal is big, man. He's dangerous in terms of like the cardio, the pressure. He's improving. Bilal's a hard fight, man. And that's why I think Habib was like, we don't really want to fight him because we know him and he's your friend, or he's our friend. But I think it's a hard fight too. I'll put out a breakdown and prediction for DDP and Strickland soon, man. Check the bets. Bilal is still the underdog against Shavkat. I'm telling you right now, I'm picking Bilal to win the fight, and I would put something on that too. Am I excited about Alexandre Topuria, Ilya's brother's UFC debut? Yeah, he's debuting at UFC 312. Yeah, I'm excited against Cody Haddon. So Topuria's brother is very good, man. Very good. He might be stronger than Islam, dude. He's bigger. He's a lot bigger. DDP versus Sean Strickland breakdown and predict. Yeah, I'll put out a video on that, man. You think Umar will beat Merab, and then there is just Ilya left as a Georgian champ? Yeah, that's what it's looking like. I don't think Merab beats Umar, man. I'll honestly be surprised. You got to feel like we're going to see some of the old guard gradually get replaced by the up-and-comers. I agree. We're in that, like, new wave right now in terms of the MMA world right now. Haddon is going to kill Toporia's bro. Why do you say that, man? Why do you say that? I think Alexandre is a good fighter. His lack of power compared to Elia is different. But again, he's a weight class down. He's got similar boxing. He's got good grappling, but he doesn't have the same pop in his hands, you know? My prediction for Alex versus Ankalaev, if it happens, when it happens, my friend, I hope it does happen. I think Ankalaev is the guy to beat him. So I think Ankalaev could beat him. Alex struggles with southpaw strikers, in particular southpaw boxers with fast hands. And I think Ankalaev has fast hands. And I think Ankalaev has the wrestling to utilize to make him tired. And if you can make Alex tired, his hands drop even lower, and he forgets about the defense even more, and then he's open to being KO'd. So that's how I could see it playing out. You think Haddon's a top 5 talent? I mean, maybe. I don't know. Jamal is crying again on Twitter. Michael Johnson cooked him because Pineda poked him in the PI. Yeah, I saw that. Jamal Hill stays taking L's, man. Who do I think Pineda will face in February? I don't think he's going to fight in February. I think he's just talking about going as a spectator, because he usually watches Sean Strickland fights and goes and corners them or just is there in person. So it's either that or they're going to book him versus Ankalaev for that card before Ramadan. That's all I can think of there. Or maybe they do the Chimaev thing, which would be, I mean, that'd be crazy, but I don't know. I don't know. Tagir Ulambekov versus Clayton Carpenter. I think Tagir wins. How likely is Izzy winning against Nasruddin? I think Izzy has a very good chance to beat Imavov. I think the Izzy that showed up against DDP was motivated. I think he fixed his boxing. It's just Imavov is like on a tear, man, and he's a good fighter. It's hard to see Imavov outpointing Izzy over the course of 5 rounds. I don't think he finishes Izzy. So over the course of 5 rounds, like that's going to be tough. But he mixes in the grappling. I could see him getting it done. But I don't know. I think it's actually a good fight for Izzy. Topuria isn't undefeated like Ilya. His record is padded, and he's facing a real guy at his debut. Yeah, I know what you mean. Haddon's a tough fight, man. MVP versus Shara Bullet, early prediction. So I made a video on this, and right now I'm leaning towards MVP, man. I think that, I think right now, I think MVP wins. That's where my head's at right now, because you got to remember, not only is it going to be probably a striking battle back on the feet, but MVP's coming up a weight class, so he's going to be faster. The only thing that I think that people are missing as well, I won't give away too much because I'll save it for my breakdowns. People don't copy me and make videos about it. But I think that MVP, because his hands are low and he has that kind of surfing, like he feints in and, kind of style, his hands are down. And I think he's susceptible to being KO'd by a head kick. Name a better guy at middleweight that throws head kicks than Shara Magomedov. Nobody, right? And he throws good leg kicks. He's kick heavy. I think it could be a problem, You think Strickland can win if he just stuffs the takedowns and do what he did the last time with more counters? But that's not his style, though. That's not his style. And I think I see what you're saying, and that is if he's going to do it. The problem is Strickland's style. He stands so straight up in the air. And the commentators, listen, yes, they were fighters, but they're also fucking idiots because they all say Sean Strickland, for having a boxing-based stance, he checks leg kicks so well. He basically has a Muay Thai stance. That's why he checks the kicks well. Muay Thai is, if you guys watch Muay Thai, calf kicks are basically not a thing. They happen, but it's not like the UFC because they're very square. Like, Charles Oliveira defends leg kicks very well. Jan Blachowicz checks them very well. They're in those Thai stances, which makes you susceptible to being taken down, makes it easier to take you down, which is why Strickland gets taken down so easy. But Sean can pop right back to his feet. But the benefit is he can check kicks very well, which Strickland, he checks kicks better than just about anybody in the UFC. Like, people don't give him that kind of credit, and he does. But the problem is he's so straightforward and his hips are straight towards towards the guy. And if he's getting backed up, these guys just take him down, but he pops right back up. So I don't know, man. I don't know. Did I see that Chris Curtis apologized for accusing Kopylov of sending in spies? Like Chris Curtis is such a goofball. No, I didn't see that, but I even commented on or posted on X about that. I'm like, I don't believe that for 1 second. Who the hell's spying on Chris Curtis? What the hell's there to spy for? He walks forward like this, and this is Chris Curtis. He just kind of moves forward in this little half-ass Philly shell type of thing and just boxes. What is there to, I'm going to spy on Chris Curtis? Literally, there are so many fights on YouTube of Chris Curtis from before he got to the UFC fights wherever. He fights the exact same way. There's nothing different. What are you going to spy on Chris Curtis for? And that guy, Kevin, Crazy Kev or whatever, he's like, that's not why they spy, bro. They're trying to see what weakness it. Dude, that's why people spy. That's why they spy, is they're trying to get an inside look at what is it that your game plan is going to be, all those kinds of things. You know what Chris Curtis's game plan is. It's not going to out-grapple Kopylov. I doubt it. Is it going to outstrike him with the boxing? Maybe. Not with overall striking, Kopylov's a dangerous fighter. Raheem, that's for you. Salam alaikum. Sick of it. Thank you. Thanks, ma'am. I appreciate that. Do you get a Matt Riddle? Do I have a Matt Riddle? Who the fuck's Matt Riddle? Why do I not know who Matt Riddle is? Do I have a Matt? Let me look him up. Am I being a professional wrestler? Matt Riddle. That's a random professional wrestler, man. This is a hot take, but you feel that Gaethje is going to have a sad downfall in 2025. I don't see him coming back from the Holloway beatdown. Man, I feel like you might be right. Getting KO'd that brutally, especially like getting up there in age. Gaethje's already kind of been talking about retirement being soon. I think you might be right. Shar versus Page will either be amazing or absolute trash, no in between. I feel the same way. DDP versus Strickland prediction. I think DDP gets a finish. You hope Shara keeps his O. I mean, that would be cool to see, man. I just think MVP is also a hard fight, man. Crazy Kev on Twitter because he's a client. So I've seen people saying that they're like, people are doing this like mass unfollowing of him. Like, what's the deal? I saw people talking about like some DMs or something that he was being weird or something. I don't know. I didn't see. I don't know. I just saw some people talking about it. Yeah, I think Kopylov beats Chris Curtis too. I think Ilya is a hard fight for Islam, and I think Islam is a hard fight for Ilya as well. I think that's one of the biggest fights in the UFC right now, without question. So, let me see here. Do I think Protes will get to the top 5? Yeah, for sure. I think he's going to fight a top 5 guy next. Maybe they give him, JDM. Maybe they give him Buckley. Maybe they give him Leon. I know that Sean Brady called for Leon. I don't know that they're going to give him that fight. Listen, the UFC, if they book Sean Brady versus Leon Edwards, I think that that's very telling. And I think that means the UFC is done with Leon Edwards, because I think Sean Brady is a horrific matchup for Leon Edwards. I think he would destroy Leon. Yeah, I saw Ilya call out the Dagestanis to a street fight. Yeah, that'd be interesting. Who do I think Pereira will face in February? If he's facing anybody, I would hope it would be Ankalaev, man. I really want to see that fight. He's being a creep to women on Twitter because he got rejected. He's always posting fake fight news, and he follows people. Then as soon as they follow him back, he unfollows them. That's weird. I'm going to have to pay attention to that, man. Protes versus Neal next, fight night main event. I could see that. Too, because Jeff Neal just beat RDA. That's actually a fun fight too. Yeah, I'm excited for the Protes for his next fight too, man. He's got the it factor. I've been saying that, man. He really does. He's got a fun style. He's got KO power. He's got it. Ilya doesn't stand a chance against Islam. He's way too small compared to him. So I know I see what you're saying, but by the same token, man, like he's strong though. Ilya's strong, man. So I don't know. I don't know. Ilya versus Islam Makhachev prediction. I could see Ilya honestly KOing him. I could, and I'm a big fan of both guys. But I could see Ilya KOing him. But I could also see Islam KOing Ilya or submitting Ilya. You know, because Islam I think is the more complete fighter, but Ilya has the best boxing we've ever seen in MMA, I think. And he's got crazy. And Javier Mendez, Islam's coach, striking coach, you know, who's coached DC and Habib and all, you know who he is. He even was saying how dangerous Ilya is, dude. Like they know Ilya is legit, man. Like they're not like, oh yeah, Ilya's some bum or whatever. Like Ilya is dangerous as hell. They're not like, yeah, we'll just run him over. And they're like, that's a tough fight, man. You know what I mean? That's a great fight either way, though. I hope we see. I think it's a massive fight at some point. Yeah, crazy Kev. I saw people talking about him, so I just didn't know the full story of what was going on there. Are there high rated prospects that you think will fall in 25? Off the top of my head, I don't know. Off the top of my head, I don't know. But I could see it. I could see some shockers happening. I could see some shockers happening for sure. It's all going to come down to matchmaking, man. That's the beauty of it is the matchmaking. If the UFC decides to go harsher on the matchmaking, then we'll see some downfalls. If they go business, like use their business sense and matchmake that way, I don't think we'll see too many crazy falls in 25. Ilya versus Mobstar. I think Mobstar could win a decision against him if he's able to out wrestle him, but I just don't see, man. I just think Ilya is the best 45er, man. I think he's the best 45er of all time. He just doesn't have I mean, yeah, he KO'd Volk and Holloway, but because the standards are so high because of what Volk did and Holloway and Aldo and all those guys, like I think he's right up there with them already. But if he adds another title defense or two, man, like I think he's the GOAT featherweight for sure. Like I think he's the best 45er ever right now, but he just doesn't have the same amount of title defenses as someone as like a Volk. You know what I mean? And that's what's going to kind of hurt him a little bit. So, but yeah, I think Ilya would probably KO him, to be honest with you. I'm serious. Ilya is that damn good, dude. You personally think you'd give Sean Woodson a run for his money? Why? Sean Woodson, man, he's an awkwardly built guy, man. He's got pretty good striking. Whitaker moving up to 205. No, he talked about it. So he's dabbling with the idea. I could see him doing it. Ilya sparred with Alexa. I heard that, but I didn't see where that was true, though. I didn't see where that was true, man. I didn't see where that was true. You bet on Islam in every single UFC fight, but I wouldn't bet on him against Ilya. Ilya has aura. Unless Islam was an underdog, then I would have to be, but I won't be. Yeah, dude, I think that, listen, someone would get finished, and it could be either guy. It really, to me, would be a 50-50 fight, truly, in my opinion. Ilya at 170 against a top 5 170 guy? I don't know. I think he could KO anybody. I think he has the power to go from 45, 55 to 70, maybe. So, I mean, I don't know. He's a skilled fighter, man, for sure, but that's pushing it up at 170. But I wouldn't rule it out. You think Ilya will make it to a title shot against Bilal in 2025? His stock has risen since 310. I mean, I don't think Ilya would get up to 170 before the end of 2025, man, you know? What's up, Tehran? How you doing, man? Thank you, Paradox to chat. I appreciate that, man. Thank you. Ilya KO'd Alexan sparring. You were there. Yeah, right, man. Imagine a 6'4", 230-pound Ilya. That would be a fucking problem. That would be a real problem. You think Movsar Evloev beats Ilya Topuria by out-wrestling him via decision? I think Ilya would probably KO him, to be honest. I think he would. You're also there when Ilya Topuria KO'd. Like, man, that'd be something if that actually happened. How am I celebrating the New Year's? Watching Boise State versus Penn State tonight and eating some food, man. How about you? Yeah, watching college football playoffs are great, man. I don't know if you guys are football fans have been watching, but American football, college football, I enjoy it. I enjoy it. Aljo was a good wrestler. Ilya probably not as good, so Mobstar could actually win. Yeah, but controlling him for 25 minutes, I feel like that's going to be hard to do, man, DDP cut Shaw's eye in the fight before. That couldn't really hit him to the head. I don't think DDP will finish him. I think he will be a close fight too, but the one who changes will be better for the win. Yeah, no, I think DDP has more ways to win. I think Sean is a well-rounded fighter, but he doesn't use a lot of those skills in fighting. He uses it to stay in your face, to keep the fight on the feet, and just be busy. And he's an interesting matchup for guys. People want to dunk on Strickland, which, like, to a degree, like, deserves. You know what I mean? But I'm saying in terms of style-wise, like, Strickland's a hard fight, man, because he doesn't open up a lot. He's got good defense. He checks kicks well. He's got good front kicks. He's got probably one of the best jabs. So, yeah, he's a hard fight, man. He's a hard fight. If O'Malley can't KO Merab, the same could happen to Ilya versus Mobstar. Yeah, it's true, but again, stylistically, it's different. Ilya is more rooted into the ground, and it's a little bit different. What's up, Tehran, by the way, man? MMA fans are hypocrites. They accuse John Jones of ducking Tom, but don't have the same energy for Alex Pinedo's openly ducking Magomed. Yeah, I made a whole video on that, by the way. I don't know if you all have. If someone could like the stream as well, we're almost at 30 likes. I would appreciate it. I made a video on that too. I've been saying, like, look, we have to keep the same energy for all of the fighters. We were hard on Merab for ducking Umar. He basically got forced into the fight, but he still took the fight. The UFC is helping Alex avoid Ankalaev because he's his hardest matchup. John Jones was ducking Aspinall. Like, that's what it is, man. We have to hold these guys accountable. You know what I'm saying? Like, we have to keep the same energy for everybody when they're ducking. That's what I'm trying to do, at least. I feel like we're doing that on this channel, And we called Alex out for this. You got your fun matchups here and there. Now it's time to fight the actual number one contender, which is Ankalaev, and the hardest matchup for him, I think. I think Jan Blachowicz and Magomed Ankalaev are Alex's hardest fights at 205. He barely beat Jan Blachowicz, and he's going to go in there against Ankalaev over the course of 5 rounds. I think Ankalaev has the skills to be able to beat him. Yeah, I don't think anyone right now at featherweight beats Topuria. Colby's career cycle goes like this. He talks shit about LeBron, glazes Trump, then he gets his ass whooped by a black fighter. It happens 3 times already. Yeah, I saw people posting memes about that. I saw that. Yeah. You think Mobstar Evloev beats Ilya Topuria by out-wrestling him via unanimous or split? I just don't see someone being able to control Ilya for 5 rounds, man, without getting, hit by a nasty shot. I just don't see it. You think Ilya knocks Islam out in the 4th or 5th round? I can see it happening. I think Ilya could knock anyone out at 45, 55, and possibly 70. I'm not going to push it on that one yet. I would like to see what he looks like at 55 first. There's insane Topuria glazing in all Latin America and Spain. Not the same when I watch content in English. They're even toxic. Dude, Topuria is good, though, man. You know what I mean? So I think Topuria is just that. It's. I mean, yeah, we're glazing, but he is that good, man. He is that good. He's that good, man. O'Malley versus Jan definitely is going to happen to determine the next title contender. I think that should be the number one contender fight. Do O'Malley versus Jan in a 5-round fight. That's what I would like to see this year. You know what it's all about. Who we like. People don't like Jones, so it's easy to just crap on him and not hold Alex accountable. Yeah, no, I know what you mean. There's a lot of people that let it slide with Alex, but we're not on this channel, man. We've been calling it out. I appreciate it, Harry, man. The Ilya glazing is real. He beat a broken Alex and KO Max, and suddenly he's unbeatable. Give me a break. I mean, I think that, obviously there's a way to beat everybody, but right now, like, Ilya, dude, he's one of the best fighters in the UFC for sure. Whether you like him or not, he's a hard fight for everybody. Ian Gary was one stake away from submitting Shavkat. Yeah. Yep. You heard Joe Alvarez was moving up to 170. If he does, it's some great matchups for him up there. Yeah, he's dangerous, man. And he would, I think size wise, he'd be okay at 170 because he's a big dude. He's like 6'3", I think, you know? So you have to be man first. You got to be the man first, you know? Jacuzzi. Jacuzzi. Do I think Ilya Topuria, Paddy Pimblett, and Hamzat Chimaev could be huge megastars like Conor McGregor? I think that I think Hamzat is already a gigantic star, but the UFC is going to do their best to not allow guys to become the magnitude of Conor. You know what I mean? Because then they can't control them. And the UFC wants control. So I don't know. I don't know. But yeah, they definitely got like Hamzat and Islam, and these guys are big stars, man. Alexa's a big star now too. Ilya, you know. I appreciate that, man. Hopefully, next year at this time, we're definitely into the double digits in terms of subscribers. That's my goal, is to definitely have over 10K by this time next year for sure. No one will ever be as big of a star as Conor. I feel the same way, man. Like I don't think that we're ever going to see that, because the UFC is going to prevent it, man. They're going to prevent it. They don't want. I made a video on this on my channel here before. The UFC wants controlled superstars. They want people that are big enough to help build the organization and make them money, but not be so big to where they could basically be like F you, like how Conor is, you know? You think Alvarez could beat Prates? I mean, maybe. The only thing about Alvarez that concerns me is he doesn't move his head or something. He doesn't move his head or something. Strickland or DDP injured or something. Dude, that'd be wild, man. That'd be wild. Maybe. What if we get some crazy news, man, that's like Alex versus Ankalaev, UFC 312, Strickland versus DDP? I don't know. I don't know. Michael Morales and Carlos Prates would be good. I like that fight. I like that fight. They're calling it now. O'Malley will get the Izzy treatment and get the winner of Umar and Merab. You heard it here first. Yeah, you're probably right. I would just like to see Jan versus O'Malley over 5 rounds. I think that's a great fight. And I think Jan would win. Yeah, Michael Morales is a stud, man. He's the dark horse. He's a dark horse at 170 for sure. Carlos Prates versus Neil. What's up, Colstrom? I think Prates would win that fight. That's a good fight. Someone just said that earlier in the live, that matchup. So maybe they booked that one. That'd be fun, though. How would Usman or Magomedov do against the top UFC 55ers? He'd be right there with them. I think he could beat just about all of them. It's rumored Chandler and Patty might be next. I saw that. I think that's a fun fight. Do I think Costa should who do I think Costa should get next, and why do you think he fought like that against Strickland? Yeah, he made the fight boring too, because he's changed his fighting style, man. You know what I mean? So he's no more of likes to move forward and be on the front foot and be this aggressive guy. He likes to try to be fancy now, and that's kind of benefiting Costa for the worst. Maybe him versus Joe Pyfer said he had fight news. Maybe they do Costa versus Pyfer. So I could see that. Some MMA fans say Paddy Pimblett, Hamzat Chimaev, and Ilya Topuria will become huge megastars like Conor. I think there'll be big names, but they're not going to let people get as big as Conor again. They're going to try not to, at least, I think. You keep forgetting that Leon is going to be on that London Fight Night card. Yeah, Leon's easy to forget about these days, man. Like, I'm not trying to be mean. I'm just saying. Buckley's a problem, dude. He's a problem, man. Yeah, Ramadan's the end of February. So yeah, they could do Ankalaev versus Pereira on that card in Australia for sure, because that's like February 8th is that card. So that's before then. If Buckley gets a title fight and wins, I'll know that Jake called it long before. Dude, hey man, like I said in that, I think it was my Dark Horses video in 2024. I was like, dude, Joaquin Buckley, man, is a problem at 170. And I'm not saying that he'll beat Bilal. I'm saying he is a bad matchup for everybody in the division, because he's strong, he's power, he can knock anyone out in the division. He has the power to KO anybody in the division. He's more explosive than anybody in the division. He's stronger probably physically than anybody in the division. He has decent grappling. He's a problem. I still think Bilal could beat him, but I'm saying overall, like, dude, don't sleep on Buckley, man. Clearly, like, he's dangerous. He is dangerous, man. Justin Gaethje versus Dan Hooker in the works for 313. That'd be a great fight, man. That's a great fight. I'd like to see that. Who do I think a boost should fight next? I don't know. I don't know, to be honest with you. I don't know. I'd have to look at maybe. Do you think they give him a ranked opponent now? Because he stacked up a couple wins and just got a finish. So maybe they give him that. I don't know. Who's my favorite current fighter? Khamzat Chimaev. Khamzat is my favorite fighter currently in the UFC. And like people laugh when I say, like, I like Alex Pereira. I'm a fan of Alex Pereira. I've been watching him for a very long time. But it's just this whole thing with Ankalaev has been weird because one of my favorite fighters too is Ankalaev. I like his style, man. Like, I've been saying that for so long. I'm like, Magomed Ankalaev is if people are trying to be a very good striker that has good wrestling and fast hands and you're a bigger guy, like, Ankalaev is a great fighter to watch and try to learn from because he has very, very fast hands. He's got good kicks. He's got good movement. He's got good footwork. He has very good wrestling. The only critiques that I would have for Ankalaev is to be more dangerous with the grappling, right? If Ankalaev had really good submissions, really good ground and pound, like, dude, he would be probably like the GOAT light heavyweight. Like, he really would, because in terms of the striking, he is damn good, man. Like, he is stylistically one of my favorite guys to watch in the heavier weight classes for sure. So, but I mean, I feel like even if you don't like Pereira, you still respect his style. Like, he's a fun guy to watch. Like, Pereira's got a interesting style, you know? Hey, thanks for becoming a members there, and I appreciate it, man. So, and that's another thing that I'm getting going more in 2025 is the members thing. We don't have too many members right now. I only got some, but I got to put out some stuff for the members. So usually videos that aren't time sensitive, I give you guys early access. So you can see it before everybody, comment your thoughts first. And then, yeah, I prioritize the comments in the members too, because on some of these videos now, which is a good thing, there's a lot of comments and some of them are mean as fuck. So, but I try to go through and answer as many people as I can. But members, when I see that badge up there, it just makes it easier to go in and know that that's someone who's always interacting with my channel. So I can go in and I always answer members. But usually the people I recognize that are always showing love and supporting, I go in and answer. So, but you know, the membership stuff, it helps the channel. All that money goes back into the channel. So at some point, we'll get a mic, man. I'll get a microphone and we'll have like a legit setup. Because right now, I just basically have a computer and then I had a microphone, but it was a Yeti, but it was all messed up. So, you know, I'll get a different microphone at some point. I was looking at a couple different options. So I'll get one at some point soon. Ankalaev versus Rakic put you to sleep. It was a pretty good fight though, man. I thought it was a good fight. It was just, it wasn't as entertaining as like maybe I think people were hoping, but it was still like, it was a good technical fight, I thought. I don't think it's as bad as what people were saying it was. Yeah, Connor's definitely one of the biggest stars in combat sports history. No question. No question. Buckley versus Usman prediction. I think Buckley beats him. I don't think Usman's able to take him down. He's got bad knees. He's older. He's not going to outstrike Buckley. I think Buckley finishes him. Justin Gaethje versus Dan Hooker. Yeah, I appreciate you, Rocco, too, man. I appreciate it. Gaethje versus Dan Hooker. I think Dan Hooker, the guy that showed up against Gamrot, can beat Gaethje. I don't know that Gaethje's going to be the same after getting KO'd like that. Khamzat and Alex are beasts and so entertaining. Only reason Alex is getting hate is because he's ducking. If it wasn't for that, he'll probably be a star. And the UFC will break his knees for... Dude, so I think Alex is a big star no matter what, but exactly what you said, Lahib, is exactly how I feel. Look, I'm a fan. I like watching Alex. Like, I'm a fan. I like watching the guy fight. But him and this whole Ankalaev thing, if he wasn't doing this, it would... I feel like people would still find something, but this is like dampening things to me. You know what I mean? So I think that he's just got it. They got to do that. They got to book that fight. They got to book that fight. And I have a theory, okay? And I've thought about making a video on this or a short because it's not really a long video, but I think I know why. I really think I know why the UFC is not. If Ankalaev, I'm waiting to see what happens because I don't want to make this video and then title fights get booked and, you know, whatever. But I have a theory on why Khamzat didn't get the direct title shot and why Ankalaev has not gotten the title shot. And it's not because I have not heard anyone say this. So I'm not going to say it. I'm going to wait and save it for a video or whatever, because I actually think that it's bigger than just fighting. I think that I honestly know why, or have a theory on why that they haven't gotten their title shots. So Brian Battle versus Oban Elliott. I think that'd be an interesting fight. I think Mobstar is a boring fighter. When he's able to have his way with people, yeah. But when there's guys in there that can kind of meet his resistance and make it interesting, no. It's like Sean Strickland. Like, I don't personally think at times Strickland is horribly boring. There's no question that Sean Strickland can be very boring. But if you get somebody who goes after him and makes him fight and doesn't allow him to get away with just jabbing and teeping to a decision and coasting, then he could be interesting to watch. I feel like it's the same kind of thing here, to where it depends on who he's up against can bring out an exciting version of him. Oliveira versus Holloway prediction. At 55, I think Max could possibly beat him. That'd be interesting, though. That'd be interesting. You feel like those wars are going to catch up to Hooker? They could, because if he gets cracked by Gaethje, it's over. Yeah, I think Bilal could beat everybody. I think he could beat Usman too, though. I think he could beat Usman. I think he can beat him. Thank you, Benji. I appreciate it. Thank you. I think Bilal beats Usman. Usman. Yeah, I think Bilal beats him. Rakic made the fight boring. He ran the whole time. That's what I said after the fight in my post-fight recap. I was like, Rakic ran the whole fight. But if that was Izzy, people would have been like, Izzy was running the whole time, right? But because it's Rakic, no one says anything. Rakic was running the whole fight, and that people are so focused on disliking Ankalaev that they're like, no, Ankalaev was boring. He was moving forward, chasing him down, and Rakic was running the whole fight, dude. For a guy that's as big as Rakic, he never stands his ground at all. Stand your base. Like, he never stands his base, dude, ever. Rakic, he's always like moving around, sticking and moving. He's got no power in his hands. He's got some big old powerful kicks, but unless he lands one, he's not finishing anybody. He was running the whole fight. Yeah, Ankalaev, he probably didn't mix in any grappling because he's like, I need to get a title shot. And he was looking for a KO. There's no question. I can see Charles beating Holloway at this point too, Tehran. I'm kind of with you there, actually. Ankalaev and Khamzat probably didn't get their title shot because the UFC is waiting for Trump to get inaugurated. So yeah. Something like that, to that effect, man. To that effect. Yeah. Your head's in the right spot, Craze. Yeah. You're thinking what I'm thinking. You're thinking what I'm thinking, man. You can feel that 2025 will be the best year for UFC fans. I hope so, man. I really hope so. I hope so. Chimaev and Ankalaev are both associated with the Agmat Fight Club. So, not so much that. Not so much that. I think right now in the world that we're in, there's some tensions right now, right? Between the U.S., Russia, there's some tensions going on there. And I think with the shift going on with the, Trump getting into office, I think they're trying to make sure everything's good first. Because if the UFC probably believes that Khamzat will beat whoever it is and win the belt, and they probably believe that Ankalaev will beat Pereira. And if that happens, what is that going to be? Are things going to be restricted because of their relationship with Kadyrov? Are they going to be, restricted under the? I think they're trying to make sure some things are figured out first before we have a champion that can only fight in whether it's one area or two. Like the UFC wants champions that can fight in multiple different areas because they can't always predict when they're going to have a guy defend a belt on a certain card. They can usually plan that ahead, but say something happens. Say Ankalaev wins the title and they're like, oh, he can only fight in this area or that area. Well, what if he gets injured and now you got to wait another year for that card? You got to have other options. You know what I mean? So I think that has something to do with it, man. And I know that it's not for sure that guys are having issues with travel, because I know Ankalaev just fought Johnny Walker at the Apex not that long ago. I'm just saying I think the UFC is trying to get some ducks in a row first. But I do believe part of the reason, though, for sure, is the fact that they're protecting guys. There's no question that they know Ankalaev's the hardest fight for Pereira. There's no question. Yeah, that's what I'm saying, man. People call Ankalaev boring, but Glaze, Merab, and Strickland. I get it. I'm with you. I'm with you, man. And Ankalaev is not boring. Have you ever seen his? I tell people, have you seen his highlight reel? He's entertaining, man. He's got good striking. He's one of the best strikers at light heavyweight for sure. In the heavier weight classes, Ankalaev is one of the best strikers. You think the UFC will never give Khamzat until he? So it's not really a choice, man. It's not really an option, though. That's the thing. I don't think it has necessarily so much to do with that. I think that it's just they're trying to make sure there's some things, Isn't the Apex going to be under construction next year? We might see more cards with crowds. I heard something about that. So whether that they follow through with all that, we'll see. But yeah, that'd be great. That'd be great if we got some fights more with the crowds, because look, the Apex is cool at times. It served its purpose, but for like the Contender Series and stuff, but I like when there's crowds, man. So, and I feel like we all feel the same way with that, I mean, it's so much better when there's fans. It sucks when in that day, and then it sucks for the fighters too. I mean, I know they're getting paid, so they're just like, just give me my check. But I mean, that's got to be kind of shitty fighting in there, and there's no people in there. You know what I mean? So it's always nice to have a crowd that sends you to another level. Yeah, I heard rumors about that too with Khamzat marrying Kadyrov's daughter. I don't know if that's true or not. Does anyone know if that's actually true? I heard rumors about that. I don't know if that's true. Patty is Colby Baxing right now. He's taking on fighters with a big name, but coming off losses, and he might as well wiggle his way to a title shot by this method. Yeah, beating up on washed up guys, man. Yeah. So, but a couple more, man, before I hop off here. A couple more, man. And like I said, I appreciate the support from everybody. And if you're new and you're not subscribed to the channel, I would greatly appreciate it. We're up over 4K now. So by this time next year, man, we're going to have double digits for sure. So that's my goal, to have 10K plus for sure by this time next year, right before we head into 2026. So we'll keep doing our thing, man. We'll keep moving forward. So I celebrate the wins, man. Celebrate the wins. The cool thing about the Apex is hearing punches and kicks land. Yeah, for sure, man. Like that Dan Hooker versus was it Dan Hooker versus Poirier fight? That was crazy. Hanat versus Bonfim. That'd be a great fight. Have I considered an acting career playing as the Wolverine? No, but maybe I should, man. Maybe I should. By next year, I'll have over 100K subs. I don't know about that, man. That would be absolutely wild. I would love that, obviously. That'd be life-changing, man. You know what I mean? Because once you get into the double digits and start getting consistent viewership and the money starts, that's how you can turn YouTube into kind of a, like, I know people get the super chats, memberships, all that kind of stuff. So this is the year, man. You know what I mean? That we're going to really start to I saw some good momentum here towards the end of the year, so just moving it. So we'll see, man, as we move forward. So maybe change my channel name to MMA Wolverine. Which fighter do I think would improve greatly by switching gyms? Well, I always said that about McGregor back in the day. I'm like, he needs a new team around him because he's got a bunch of yes men and he's just plateaued. So, I don't know what his fighting deal is, but who could really make it improve? Maybe Leon Edwards. He seems like he's been coasting by the same way, I feel like he's been kind of coasting by for a while. So, but I think O'Malley's got a good team, though. I think O'Malley's got a good team, good coaches. So, but by 2026, man, by the end of 2025, the goal is to have 10K plus subscribers. So hopefully we get there. That would be great. Hopefully way more than that. You know what I mean? But I'm not greedy. So I take it as we go. So Charles training in Dagestan, that'd be crazy. Charles coming back with some crazy, you know what I mean? We need a whole division of YouTubers competing with each other. Impressions. You got to be man first. You got to be the man first. Jacuzzi. How did I get the beard? It grew. Hamzat will never be a champ. We'll see, man. We'll see. We'll see. But like I said, if anyone's new here, subscribe to the channel. Help me out, man. Like the stream. This was fun, man. Happy New Year to everybody. And again, I appreciate all the support getting me up over 4K. It's been fun, man. We'll keep the train rolling. And I'm excited for 311 coming up. I'll have some videos coming out here soon. Predictions for UFC 311, breaking down the main and co-main event. I appreciate everybody, man. See you next time.